Okay, so today we're gonna focus on the environment.
Okay.
And first things first, you will need to download the underwater blueprint by Karim. So he has a lot of actually good assets that you can of course buy or get it for free. Some of them, as you can see. He has underwater blueprint version 3 as well, what is 20 times better, I think. But we are going to use the free version. Of course, I would advise you to donate because he has really good assets. Especially the water blueprint. This is super duper simple though. If you want like a good, actually like subnautica type shit environment, of course you can use this, but I would advise you to probably look for something else. We're not gonna use. We're not gonna. What do you call it? We're not gonna create them because this game will be like fully underwater, so we don't copy like Subnautica and stuff. But yeah, if you want like swim on top of the water and so on, I guess you can kind of modify this. But basically, what you need to do is add this to cart. Whoops. Donate stuff. I'm not gonna, and just get it for free. It's 2.5 gigabytes, I think, so it's gonna take a while. So when you have it, it should look like this, and there should be the project file. You just open it up, and it should look like that. There's literally nothing in it except the map and every single thing. What we need is go to maps, and we have to migrate this. So we go to assets, migrate everything here, as you can see. We're gonna migrate, so press OK. Select your file, go to content. Yeah, just go to content and just, I guess, select it. And it should take a few minutes, maybe more, to actually migrate it, because there's a lot of files in it. 2.5 by the way, gigabytes. So it's going to take some time to do that. While that is migrating, I guess, what we can do is we can create a new level, empty one. We create that, so we're gonna save it. And we're gonna save that in the maps. So you just go to files and save all. Oh yeah, save. And save this into the maps. I'm gonna call this main map. Yeah. If you go to Windows, go to Light Mixer. No, not Light Mixer. Environment Light Mixer. And right here you can create skylight, directional light, sky atmosphere, and high fog. We're not going to use clouds because we don't need it. And we have basic lights. And I can feel that my PC actually is breaking. Okay, so it migrated, it took a while. You can close that project up. And you will see blueprints, effects, maps, materials, migrated stuff, static mesh, and textures. Everything here is migrated. I would probably put it in one file, but that's gonna take a while, so we're just gonna let that sit there, I guess. What we need is the blueprint. So if you drag in this, oh shit, what the fuck? You will see a lot of stuff. It's probably gonna lag a bit. I don't know what that is. I don't know why it's there. It looks shit, I know. If you go to landscape and create a landscape, right here you can actually choose how big it will be. I'm gonna choose 120, let's choose 63. We're not gonna take it, we're not gonna make it big. Like this. And as you can see, it actually gives like a shadowy look right here and stuff, which is pretty cool. That's what we basically need to make it look like water and stuff. Now you can actually customize everything here. like from the sun to the fog color. You can customize the fog distance, surface scatter, fog opacity. Here, post-processing, if you blur it out. Tint, make it green, make it purple. Temperature, you can make it a little bit cooler. You can get high as well, whatever that is. And exposure, we can set that exposure a little bit lower to make it a little bit cinematic. So to 8. So you can see the water is quite blue. I kinda don't like it. Oh well, you can go to right here, material, if you find it, water surface. And right here we can change the color. So we change the color to, for example, let's find blue. Let's change a little bit to darker blue. Now it looks like a nighttime. So let's make it a little bit like this. Yeah, you can just mess around with these I guess colors. There's a lot of textures that you can this is how it looks. The thing is, if you spawn in, you cannot go above the surface. That's why I mentioned there's like no waves and stuff. Now one you will need to design. Second thing, if we take the landscape and drag it down, it will become darker and more foggier if you go down. So more you go down, the darker it gets, what is pretty cool, I think. So if you play, this is basically how it looks. So if you look up, it looks really magnificent actually. Of course, the second thing, if you don't want to migrate this, you can actually use a plugin called water. There's a water plugin. If you don't want to use or migrate, or you have like some sort of, I don't know, you cannot migrate it, this project will be in the description or in Discord, so you can just get it. Apart from that, yes, you can use the water plugin. You don't have to use this one. Yeah, this is how it looks. So we can now do landscape, and we basically can manage our landscape however you want. So you can make hills and stuff. So let's just really fast do some stuff. Like let's make hills, so we can actually add a landscape material in it. For example, like this, and then we can like make the brush a little bit smaller, so as the strength, and smooth like things out as well. So let's make like something like this, for example. Now to add landscape to it, you're gonna go to core and maps, and we're gonna create we're gonna create material. This will be landscape, and what we will need is landscape, I think blend, yeah, blend layers. So first we have to actually find some material. So we're gonna go into our fab, and let's try to find some sort of sandy look, I think. Okay, so search for Thai sand. I think that was the correct one. Thai sand actually looks super duper good. Thai rippled sand, I think. This one maybe? No, that's too... Maybe this one? Yes. So this one with this kind of texture, I think would look perfect. So choose the quality. I'm gonna do high, and just add that to your project. We have this material landscape. We're just gonna do landscape layer blend. So we're gonna have 3 layers. All we will need is the normal one and the base one. Yeah. So first one is the base one. Second is the normal. And I can roughness will be 1, so it's rough. And that's about it. Yeah, so you can name these. So for example, first one is sand, or you can name them like base layer. Second one, let's do rock 1 and rock 2. So let's do it like this. So now we will just need to got some scans. Let's do, where's the first one? Did we import the first one? I guess we did not. I actually remember that I did. Yeah. It should. Yeah, right here. We just need the texture, so we need one of these ones. I think this one. Let's see, what's the difference between this? I guess let's just choose. Let's choose this one. It has some texture into it, and choose a normal. So normal will go into layer sand, and this is going to layer sand. So you can have as many as you want. So for example, mine rock. Let's go into textures. This one. I think I chose the wrong one because it doesn't have a color. Oh well, this is the normal one. So rock 1. Go back. Let's go to Tyson and let's really quickly do this one because it's gonna be grading. Now we have this one, so let's get this one, rock 2, and this is right here. Okay, so you can apply and save that. So now you can basically add this to here. So just landscape material, plug that in. Should turn like this, and if you go to landscape, paint. And if you click this no grade layer from assign material, I think. Yeah, it should add the sand. So add sand, or I think we have to create it actually. Oh shit, no, I deleted it. So if you click here, weight blend layer, save. Now I think we can just paint it, and yeah, you can see it now. We have. Can see the text again. Shit. Anyways, let's just paint everything. I don't know why I have to paint it every time. Before we actually blend with the rocks and stuff, we are going to make it a little bit better. So we're gonna do landscape cards. So this is X, Y, and Z. We're gonna plug that into the UVs. So this is super simple. There's like no. We're gonna set the mapping scale for 30, rotation 0, 2, and 2. So look like this, and if we apply, it should look a little bit better. So if we drag this out, you can see it's gonna get rougher, I think. Yeah, so you can see it's bigger, it's huge. This is quite up to you. It's up to your preference. So if we set it to 100, for example, you can see it's gonna give us this kind of feel. So if we get into the game, this is how it's going to look at 100. It doesn't look bad, but I think it's too giant. Let's cut it to 50 maybe. So now it looks like this. Of course you can mess around with these settings. Yeah, besides that, that's basically it. Now we can actually paint. So if we choose this rock, you can see this is how it's going to look. And what you can do is actually smooth this out, so you can blend it together. And this is how it's going to look. So you can blend the materials together, and it's gonna actually give us the kind of feel. Not really looking at any reference pictures of Subnautica, for example, worms, because as you can see, the sand is really sandy. What the fuck did I just say, man? Enough is enough for today, I think. It's quite up to you how you do it. I don't really care. You probably can make a height for this, or landscape height, I think, for this. But I think we can just paint it. We don't have a really giant map for this. Let's test the second one. I want to actually see how that one looks. If we make it a little bit like this and paint it. Oh, paint it. Looks like this. It looks a little bit darker. I really don't like it. This one looks better, I think. Okay, just like that. I mean, it looks better than not adding one, as you can see. So you can just go around the kills and just paint them manually, because Subnautica actually everything here is painted manually. I think painted manually, maybe painted manually, but created manually, the landscape especially and all the biomes. right here, they are man placed, except the ores and like creatures and so on, like basically entities that you can interact with it, they are placed yeah, not manually. So yeah, everything here from wines to that is placed manually. A human literally took them and placed them. But enough of that. We are going to get into foliage. So it actually gives us some foliage right here that we migrated. But think about the thing about this, it's really small, as you can see. It's really small. To do this, we go into modeling. Modeling, thank you. We take one of these meshes, drag them in, go to transform, and do, for example, 10. Okay, let's do 50. Okay, let's do 100. By 100, complete, bake, transform, and accept. Now, what it means, every single one of them will have that kind of transform. So as you can see, if you want to make it bigger, you go to transform and make everything bigger. For example, 10. That's too much. 2, for example, yeah, 2. We complete that. And not everything, but it should allow us to bake it. And we have a bigger rock. So this is how you can just, you know, make them a little bit bigger and place them manually. But for algae, for example, like these sponges, we can actually make them bigger real quick. Yeah, let's make it 5 times and let's bake it. We're gonna do procedural generation for this one, so we can go to core and do PCG. We're not gonna do a lot of them because I wouldn't really advise you for underwater games to do PCG because it's not gonna look good if you make like I don't know, caves and stuff. Yeah. To do PCG, we have to enable a plugin called PCG plugin. This one, Procedural Content Generation Framework. We just click on it, click yes, and just restart and save everything. Okay, so we have that. Let's close that up. Let's go into our main map. And let's do, yeah, PCG. And right here, there should be PCG. We just go to graph, I think. And do a simple forest. I think this one, when I tested it, was the best one. I tested with splines as well to make like separate biomes and stuff, and it didn't really work out really good. So simple forest is the best one. So we can do PCG simple. Let's do algae, I guess. So for simple like rocks and little tiny algae, I think this is the best one. I'm not gonna get into detail what these nodes mean, but the first one, surface sampler, is how, I guess, close you want the assets to be. So, for example, if we drag out this one, it's gonna create already a forest. You go to static mesh and just drag here mesh entity, delete that, and delete that. So now let's just make it as big as we want. And static mesh, we can add a mesh and let's find our algae. So description, static mesh, algae, or what was it? I don't remember. Sponge. So we can just drag it in. And as you can see, oh damn it, they are giant. Okay, I think it was transform point. Right here, scale. Set that to 0. And it should be 0 downscale. You can randomize the scale right here, transform point, randomize rotation, the offset, and the scale. Min, max, and so on. So as you can see, I think they're too giant. Let's just make them a little bit smaller. I mentioned if you set it to 2000 by 2000 by 2000, as you can see, they are a little bit separated. If you set it to 50 by 50, I cannot really see the difference for some reason. if we set it 200 by 200 by 200, you can see they are separating and they are like placed in a grid panel. So if we set it back to 0.0.5, I think, and it looks like this basically. You can debug as well to see how it actually works. But let's set it to 250 by 250 by 250. And you can add as many static meshes as you want. Let's actually add the minimum as well, so it's a little bit randomized. Now what we're gonna do is, so this is basically how we're gonna use the PCG to create like small things. What we can do is actually, to make it look a bit better, is to do 200 by 200 by 200. Next time we're gonna add so the player when swimming looks a little bit better, because right now it's just gliding, so there's no like camera shake, no bubbles, it's just chilling.